Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button and check today's topics in the description box. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
Been good, dude. I've been good. Can't complain. Spring is here. It's weird. We just started recording at like 7 o'clock Eastern. Like the sun's still shining. Like it's just like, it's wild. Like you almost feel like guilty for not being outside like every second of the day. But life is good, bro. Had an Indian wedding over the weekend, which was a lot of fun.
Saw that.
It was on a boat as well, which was a whole different experience to have a wedding on a boat. It was fun. Like it was a lot of fun. But then like they also reached the point at the end where like, I'm ready to go home. And it's like, oh, there's like an hour of this shit. And then we got to dock. And then we got to get my car. Like it was just like, so that part sucked. Right. But the overall experience was fire. The food was fire. And I was still able to keep to like the new diet. Thus far, my stomach wasn't killing me, which is nice. So yeah, bro, overall cannot complain. A week and a half away from Coachella as well. So do my very best to stay offline this coming weekend because I don't want to hear about any performances, what slapped, what did it. I want to try to have like my own, first time experience when I get there. So excited about that.
Nice.
Yes, sir. How about you, man? How's life been in the Bay?
Life's been good. This past weekend went up to wine country with wifey and some friends, which is nice. I'm not like the biggest wino type person, but I feel like being in the Bay, it's kind of something you just have to do.
Because it's only like an hour away, right?
Yeah, it's only like an hour and a half.
Okay, but not terrible. Like, crazy. You get there, but obviously you have to you stay there for the night, right?
Yeah. Yep. So that was a nice getaway. I haven't really explored a whole lot in the Bay, minus like going to Oakland and San Jose. So it was a nice getaway, and then there was like a Japanese festival or something the day after, which was dope. We just got some really good food.
I figured the food would be bomb.
Yeah, food was super bomb. It was jam packed, just because everybody wanted to attend, obviously. But yeah, it was a great calming weekend. But other than that, just been staying busy. Some really good new music that I know we'll get into at some point. But that was another highlight as well.
What were you bumping on the drive? Like what was on Constant Replay?
On the drive, honestly, it was just like random stuff on shuffle. Nothing new. Definitely played some Gunna. Who else? Played my songs a couple times.
Nice.
The new Buddy as well, and just some other random stuff.
Dude, it's weird though, because like I feel like we all have our location. I think we said it before in the pod, but like we'll say it again. I feel like we all have our spots where we listen to music. Funny enough, like the car really isn't a music place for me. Like that's really where like I listen to like different podcasts that I fuck with. Like that's I don't know why, dude. Like I don't know why, because like at the gym, like it takes me somewhere else. So I really like tune in. And then at home, like if I'm just like on the couch, but like, lights off and music on, like, I don't know, for some reason, like in the car, like I'm not ever like, yo, I gotta listen, like, shut up. Like I'm hearing this song. It's like, yo, let my podcast play. Like, let me catch up on like events and shit.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I think I'm mostly the opposite. If it's a real long drive, like 6 hours or something, I definitely find myself throwing on, podcasts and stuff. But if I'm going like, let's say less than 2 hours, then I'll usually just play music the entire time.
New shit? Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just like, it's been like that recently. Maybe because I'm working out more. And it's like, bro, you're really going to fucking listen to Denzel Curry again, on the drive to work? It's like, let me hear something new and new content. But
yeah, I feel you.
Good, bro. How about Blair Anthony projects? How close are we to it? Are you dropping one next weekend?
2 weeks. 2 weeks exactly from today. Which is Wednesday, the 13th. So yeah, it'll be out then. We'll start doing some promo clips for it in a couple of days.
This is the one with the feature, right?
Yeah, this is the one with the feature. And then I don't know if you heard Bia and J. Cole's song London, but I was listening to that quite a bit over the weekend and just got caught in one of those zones where I wrote a short verse to it.
Nice.
And then I was like, oh shit, like I should just put this on TikTok and see what happens. So I finished recording that a few days ago, so that'll be up soon as well.
Nice, because I feel like, I mean, you tell me, but it feels like with those like songs, especially in this era where everyone is just like moves on to the next thing, I feel like you probably also like once you do it, you're like, oh, I gotta get this shit uploaded now, otherwise it won't even make sense. Like,
Yeah. And that's where I'm glad I didn't have to force it, because like I was literally in the bathroom just like listening to the song and then coming up with a few bars, and then if it happens, then it happens. If not, then not. But yeah, I wrote it, I don't know, probably in like half an hour, and then
nice
recorded it. Thankfully it was short, so it didn't require like a lot of different takes or anything. But to your point, I was like, I need this shit up like this week, otherwise
because
the
next
song's
week
old.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
And it's not like WAP or something where it's gonna be viral for a month. Like,
yeah, it's not cultural.
Yeah.
So
So I was like, I need this shit up now.
That's funny, dude. All right, man. I'm excited to see that when you post it. And I definitely cannot wait to hear the feature. But let's get into another episode 104. I'm not sure. We'll probably have an episode next week. Yeah, we'll definitely have an episode next week. But again, glad to be doing this. We'll have some interviews coming up soon as well. Excited about that. But dude, I know this is the biggest thing, but just jumping off from last week or last couple weeks ago, Will Smith at the Oscars officially has been banned for 10 years, bro. So he'll be 62 the next time he's allowed to attend an Oscar event. So your thoughts on all of that, the ruling, everything?
Personally, I think it's extreme. It's almost like a straight up Hollywood's version of like a murder case or some shit. Like, it just seems way too extreme to be getting that kind of time from the Oscars. I think 10 just sounded like a good number. They probably wanted to shut up all the people giving him bad press, like the people giving standing ovations and the Oscars not kicking him out or whatever, even though they claim he refused to leave. So I personally think it's extreme. They should just hit his ass with a fine or something. Maybe ban him for like 1 year and just call it a day. Like 10 years seems insane.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Because like the biggest thing for an Oscar winner is that the next year, even if you don't have a project, you're always invited because for whatever role you won. So like for him winning Best Actor, he presents the Best Actor for the following year.
Right.
So I feel like it should have been a very aggressive fine that's donated to a charity of their choosing.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, we're going to ban you from your special moment next year as well. But dude, 10 years for like, bro, like,
yeah.
Like that just seems like ridiculous, bro. Like in 5 years, like people can be like, yo, why the fuck isn't Will Smith here? Like, oh, because this awkward moment happened. Like,
right. Yeah, they should have set an example, like you said, donate it to some charity that makes sense, maybe domestic abuse or some shit, or like something related, victims of slapping, and just, make it have more meaning to it other than this actor can't come to this event that like people kind of don't care about anyways. And he's probably not going to have, a smash hit. I mean, he might like Bad Boys 4 or whatever. But yeah, it just seems like they wanted to shut up everybody and be like, all right, like he just can't come back for a long ass time.
Yeah, we're just not going to talk about it. So your thoughts, so fast forward though, 10 years from now, right? If they keep the ban, I have a feeling like it's not going to last all 10 years, bro. I think there'll be something that says, hey, listen, because of good behavior.
Yeah, like he didn't slap anybody before that.
Yeah. He didn't slap anyone at the Golden Globes, so we're going to lower it to 5 or something. But just say it is 10 years. Because especially, we also got the video that someone found of like Jada recording him like in their house, and it was like super awkward, bro. Like he definitely, if you ever thought he wasn't a victim before, bro, watch that video, and he definitely looks like fucking like a victim in that video. So do you think he's still with Jada 10 years from now?
I'd say no. To be honest, I feel like this is probably the straw that broke the camel's back. That video was the first time like I felt defeated because Will Smith I'm like, if this motherfucker can be broken down like this, then I have
in his own home.
Yeah.
In his own home. Getting like cereal. And
yeah.
He's like, yo, how you get this to film me like this, bro? Like,
right. My faith was gone immediately when I saw that clip. I'm like, this is what another human being can do to Will Smith. Like, shit, he needs help. And then I always thought people were over exaggerating with the whole Jada is the problem type thing, because I know people typically blame the woman for everything when it comes to celebrity problems. But she really, in that clip at least, seemed like a straight demon,
bro, and like enjoyed it. Because like the moment she rolled her eyes and like put the camera back on her, then put it back on him, I was like, bro, like free this man. Like whatever voodoo thing you have on him, free this man. Because like you would think like on paper, like that's why it's tough. Like you can never judge like a couple from like the outside. But like, dude, he's the one with all the accolades. He's the famous one. Like, you know what I mean? It's like on paper, it's like, who, like, get someone else. Like, bro, you don't have to be with her, but clearly, like, like, that's like, unless you're in it, like, you don't know the level of toxicity, I can't even say it. Toxicness.
I thought you were about to bust out a freestyle.
The level of toxicness in that relationship that keeps someone still, like, going back for more. Because that's, like, the scary thing, bro. Like, it seems like this is, like, a daily or every week occurrence. And at least that's how it felt. Right. And it just like, it's just too toxic, can't even get himself out of it.
Right. And I think I was telling my brothers this. I think my biggest takeaway was they, for me at least, and I know the public in general always consider them like the goals couple, like both rich, good looking, seem happy all fucking day, every day. But
Jada
clearly, Jada and Will, they were kind of like that, the it couple that stayed together forever and never had issues and always seem happy. But deep down, I was like, that can't be the full story. Like every couple has some sort of issues.
Has their shit, dude.
Issues. And the couples that in my personal life, in the past that I've seen, like do the most lovey-dovey, corny shit, and skits and like stuff. They have the most issues behind closed doors. And there's been times where my girl would be like, how come you didn't post this like 15 paragraph thing about how you love me like XYZ? And I'm like, did you know that he fucking broke up with her like 15 minutes ago? Like, I mean, not to say you can't do that. To show love,
right. No,
don't think that makes up for like real love or connection outside of the media.
When it feels like it's too much of a show. It's like, who are you trying to fool here? I remember like back in the day, whenever you saw a couple got a joint Instagram account, it's like, oh, this nigga cheated. You know what I mean? It's like, you knew exactly someone fucked up.
Right.
And then for same, when you see those people who are posting aggressively nonstop about couple stuff, you're like, bro, like, all right, man, like you guys had a fight and you're trying to like overcompensate, or you were just bashing them on social media the day before and you feel the need to like, erase that and change the narrative. Like, we get it. So I feel that about them too. Cause like, even like the whole, like going back to, which is like a year and a half ago, the whole entanglement thing. It's like, bro, why are you guys having this conversation in front of us? Like, like, why is this a thing that we have to know about? Like, you guys can just deal with this. And like, if you guys stay together, we know you figured it out. And if you guys break up, all right, clearly it was a big deal. But like, there's no need for us to have this 45-minute conversation where like, clearly you're both super uncomfortable with this topic. Like,
yeah, it's so weird to me, and kind of reminded me of, speaking of the goals thing, like my wife's friend a couple of weeks ago, we were at the park and I think she got in a fight with her fiance and he like didn't come to the park. It was over something dumb, but essentially I think she brought it up to my wife and was kind of like, man, I wish he was like we were like you guys and like always got along and shit. I'm like, you hung out with us twice and obviously we're not going to get in a fucking argument in front of you. So of course we look like we never fight and are picture perfect all the time. But I like to keep my business personal. If I have an argument, I'm not going to go on Twitter and be like, bitches ain't shit. Or like do that extra stuff because I don't think anyone gives a fuck besides me. And then two, it's just, I think it's kind of tasteless to make everyone else be part of your drama.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree with that. When I've dealt with that personally, when I've seen other people post shit, and it's just like, bro, like, dude, we don't care that you and your man are having a fight tonight. Like, no one cares. Like, it's always like those subliminal, like, fucking, like, memes. And it's just like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, or the ones like, she was a deer, but he didn't want to be a hunter. I'm like, but shut the fuck up.
I've never heard that one.
Oh, bro.
That one make me get pissed off if I
Dude,
read it.
it's just forever, bro. Like, yeah, for sure. It's funny, again, like, this shit, like, really has us fucked up. Think, like, the metaverse is gonna be something different, but, like, low-key, like, we've been in it for a minute. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're really in it, because, like, thinking, like, the first thing of not even just a female, like, a person could do when they're in a fight with their significant other is let me go online and express how upset. Like, that's the metaverse. Like, I would think, right? Like, you don't have to have a fucking Oculus on. Like, that's you putting literally your personal feelings in whatever this is. And like, that's pretty wild that we're already kind of like been doing that shit. So also scary, like, to what level could it be, like, in the metaverse? Like, can you go, like, cheat on someone in the metaverse, but it's not cheating, but it's kind of cheating because I want to get back at you for, like, real life shit? Like,
yeah,
it's pretty fucking wild.
I know, it's nuts. I mean, I'm sure it'll get to that point where, like, people can put some, like, sensory shit all over their body, and, like, another person can virtually touch them and everything. I imagine that shit will come probably sooner than we think. No pun intended. Yeah,
dude. But again, so I agree with going back to the original question. I don't think they're going to be together 10 years from now. Like, it just seems like everything is finally out in the open. And dude, in 10 years, you're thinking that fucking Jaden's almost 30 or 30 already.
I'd say not even 5.
Oh, you don't think they'll last even 5 more years?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, I don't even think they make it to the fucking summer at this point.
Shit, till next episode.
Yeah, dude. So, but which again, I don't want to say it sucks. I mean, any couple breaking up is, you know, shitty. But yeah, dude, I know. From whatever we're privy to, it just seems like that needs to end. Like, she needs to go do her thing, prove to the world that she never needed him, and then he just needs to go away and be happy with somebody else, and not, like, I don't know. It just feels like he's a prisoner, and, like, that's sad, dude, because, like, we grew up on Will Smith being our fucking hero, so that's kind of just sad to see. Yeah,
I'm hoping he gets out of it if he can. I mean, do you think who would be, like, a respectable woman that he could get with after this that the public would be on board with?
Dude, it's gonna have to be some model we've never even heard of, like someone that's not in the spotlight, but someone that's still, like, beautiful and famous, like, to like a lesser degrees. Like, he can't go just pick up some girl at fucking, like, Chick-fil-A, like, change her life. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Janet Guzman?
No, dude. Toxic. But yeah, it's gonna be some, like, beautiful model that we've never heard of, but is low-key famous, and that's what I hope for her, bro. Because, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like he just needs to be, like, in a situation where he's not being, like, a pawn, and it feels like he's a little pawn in, like, ways to make her and the family famous, and, like, not realize, like, they all have that shit because of him.
Yeah,
because it's not because of her, bro. Like, we can keep it a buck. Like, I don't remember me ever being, like, a teenager, like, yo, we gotta go see the next Jaden Pinkett Smith movie. Like, that never fucking happened.
I literally don't remember, like, not to knock her accomplishments, but I don't remember any movie she starred in.
No. I mean, I remember, like, Nutty Professor, she was, like, the love interest.
I think I might have remembered that.
She was in The Matrix, and, like, set it off. But she was, like, one of 4 female leads. So I don't know, bro. Like, I get it, dude. Again, I'm not trying to. Again, I don't want to knock her to build him up. But if we can keep it 100, like, if you're looking at just, like, resume, his shit is fucking 10 times what hers has ever been. So I think it's just time for him, like, to fall back and just enjoy life, bro. Because I feel like even, like, him, bro, like, even he's been doing a lot since he, like, joined social media. You know, like, I feel like that was him overcompensating for, like, his movies not hitting like before. So I think they both kind of just need to fall back for a little bit. So again, I doubt it'll be 10 years, but a year away could probably do them, like, both a world of good.
Yeah, definitely agree. And I forgot where I heard this, but it may have been Charlemagne or something. But after his social media presence started to boom, I started to get a little, I don't know if uncomfortable is the word, but I felt like I was eager to see more of, like, the real him, because it seemed like every single post had like a $20 million budget behind it. And, like, they were entertaining, but I'm like, does this motherfucker eat? Does he sleep? Is he a robot? Like, where's just Will Smith fucking, I don't know, farting on Jaden or something. Actually, I don't want to see that, but something like just
yeah,
regular.
like just being like a regular dad, not some like, dude, because there was one clip where like he climbed to the top of some like famous bridge in Austria and then showed you how like he could film that with like 40 different angles. I'm like, bro, like this is too much. Like, bro, like we don't care. Like, just take a fire picture, we'll like it and move on with our life. Like, I mean, I think we do care because dude, he literally joined Instagram, I think like in 2018 and then like had like 3 million followers within like a few months. So like obviously people were engaging and he was getting a ton of like money from that. But I don't know. I agree. It came to be like way too much. Like everything was like too curated. Like, bro, like it could just be you and your daughter like chilling by the like on a boat or something, and it's also okay.
Right. But yeah, to your point, I guess, you know, him not being in the movie scene and people just loving it, like it's like, oh, I found my new interest. I can make like mini movies, so to speak.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get immediate likes. So
exactly.
Oh, dude. That's great. So again, shout out to him. Shout out to her as well. Not trying to shit on her by any means, but hopefully it just works out. But hopefully they're not too scared. This actually brings up a perfect segue into our first ad read ever on Audio Theory. So shout out to our sponsor. So this episode is brought to you by our friends at False Evidence Appearing Real, also known as Fear. They take over 20 years of experience with treating fear and anxiety and put into an affordable and easily digestible electronic learning course. Their unique approach is designed to fast track you to overcoming your fears while saving you thousands of dollars and hours with a psychologist. Check out the link below and get started. And be sure to use the promo code Audio Theory. That's Audio-Theory at checkout to get an exclusive discount. Great people at Fear. I know the owner for years now, doing great things. So check out the link. And if you guys love it, get a discount with the code.
Shout out to Fear.
Shout out to Fear, dude. All right, bro. Next thing, a guy who doesn't have fear anymore, it seems. Travis Scott putting up billboards all over Palm Springs. So your thoughts on this guy's just out here now? Like, it's just like, we're moving on. So your thoughts on that whole process?
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I think even when this first went down, when those folks tragically lost their lives at the show, I'm pretty sure we were like, by spring, it'll probably be like
end
forgotten.
Of the year. I thought end of the year. I didn't think he would come out because I know we mentioned Miami Rolling Loud. And we're like, I don't know, man. Shit kind of seems close. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think I may have said spring, would be the earliest, but probably likely time frame where he may not necessarily release it, but we'll be promoting it again.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I feel like everyone forgets shit after 6 months, no matter how.
And it's also, that's a great point because spring onwards is really festival concert season.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it's a good time. Everyone's feeling good. So maybe from his team's perspective, it just made sense. I did see some theories that it may not be Utopia, but a interim EP or something for Dystopia, because his last couple singles had the magazine cover of the bat or whatever, and it said Dystopia is coming. But in any case, it sounds like new music is coming soon. So I'm personally super excited. Definitely one of my favorite artists. But I'm really curious to see if the fans are gonna spam his page with, hey, you fucking sacrifice people, if that's just gonna immediately come back. Because I don't think people give a shit right now because he's not doing anything. But once he's on, I feel like those haters might pop out of the woodworks.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. So my thing is I'm actually not excited for the music and the reason why is because I think we're gonna get a watered down version of him. Because he might be fearful, and you might have to check out the link below. I think he's going to be fearful of putting out content that is what he's used to, which is rager, concert, mosh pit music. You know what I mean? So again, that's shit we love, bro. I listen to Travis Scott, I want to get hyped. I feel like it might be a watered down version of that because he's going to be so careful about not saying certain things that bring triggers to people about what might have been listened to at Astroworld.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me feels like that's definitely a possibility, but if anything, I feel like I feel like a lot of that stuff was already recorded anyways. I think if anything, he'll just tone down the shows, but the content will be the same. I mean, he may not be as explicit to be like, yeah, let's mosh and like fucking stomp out each other or anything like that. But I feel like if anything, his shows like every 5 seconds will be like, all right, who can't breathe? Like, is there enough space for everybody?
Yeah,
but I feel like the music still will have, at least for this album, will have the same energy. I'm hoping.
Yeah, so I think it's what you said a couple of minutes ago. My bad if I missed it. I think what we're gonna get is like a little EP, like a little 4-song EP this year, and maybe whatever album it is will be next year. I think he is gonna give it a year of like, I'm not gonna give you, because like I think whatever body of work, you're right, that he has is gonna be heavy rage music, and I just don't think his camp is dumb enough to let him like go die on that sword right now.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like, I
fair.
think it's safe for you to come out right now. Like, Will Smith, you know what I mean? Like, they're focused on that. But, like, they're focused on Kanye. So, yeah, just come out right now. Like, get to, like, put your toes in the pool. But I don't think he's going to jump all in and be like, yo, I'm back. Albums dropping, going on tour. Like, I don't think that's happening, bro. At least until next year. Like, I don't see that happening until next year.
That's fair. But I'm hoping it sounds like we're going to get something. So I'm curious.
We'll get something.
Like.
And shout out to him for the clever marketing. You know, especially because, you know, Coachella pulling him from the thing without like anything like really being to blame on him per se.
Right.
So, you know, shout out to him. But dude, question to you about Coachella. Like, I will get your thoughts on this, bro, because I was about to pull the trigger on buying some like extra tickets to some other events while I'm there, but I'm like, I just like decided not to. So Coachella, Indo Valley, like they're having obviously 2-weekend festival. Bro, there's other events happening nearby that's like, I feel gonna detract people and make them choose in like what they're gonna do. So I'll give you an example, right? So I'm like a big fan of like Soho House. So anything Soho House, I'm like, bro, I need to get invited to that party. I need to be on that list, blah, blah, blah. So they're having a Soho House at Coachella Valley, right? On the exact same hours, the exact same days at Coachella, but it's like DJs, like great DJs, but DJs who would normally perform at Coachella are now doing the Soho House event, right? Uh-huh. So I was like, all right, bet, like that might be cool. I'll go check that out and then go walk over back to the festival. Fam, it's 6 miles away.
Oh shit.
So like you literally have to pick and choose. Like if you go to that instead of Coach, like that's it. Like you're there for the day. It's like that, like just like shit like that, just like people being that greedy. That's like, yo, like, let's just show up and we'll fucking make our own thing. And it's also going to be sick. And all the influencers want to be here. I'm like, bro, like, or you can just let us have this fucking festival and like not fuck this up for me. Because I'm like, bro, like Solach is going to be there on a Saturday. IDK is performing on Saturday at Soho House. Like, yo, they're getting legit acts, bro. Uh-huh. So I'm just like, bro, like, don't make me have to spend this bread, but then also like waste the money I already spent on the fucking festival. Like that shit, like, yeah.
And it's taking place both days or both nights?
Both weekends, all 3 days. From 12 to 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds tempting. Like personally, I think I would definitely consider it just because I've never been to Soho House.
Yo, same, dude. That's why it's only it's only $185 for like a day pass, and it's unlimited drinking, unlimited food, and you have access to like everything, and you get to see like all these acts, which is great. Now, obviously, it's probably going to be more up close because you know, like they only have so much space. But like, I thought it was going to be like, you know how they have like VIP tents in Coachella? Yeah. So I thought it'd be like, yo, let me go see Selection at 12. I can pop out, go see 21 Savage at 1:30, pop back in, get some food and drinks. You know what I mean? But like, that's gone because it's 6 miles away, bro. Like I can't walk that. Like getting an Uber is gonna be fucking impossible. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, it really just like, you have to, for those days that you decide to do that instead, like that's all you're doing, which is like the idea of like, bro, like I spent bread to be here. Like I didn't spend bread to be at Soho House, you know?
Exactly. No, that part's frustrating because you said it would be $200 just to do that.
200,
extra?
180, yeah, $200 per person. Yeah. Extra, right? Because again, it's literally not related to Coachella at all. Besides, like they know what they're doing and like, yo, everyone's gonna be down here. Let's just set up this like pop-up Soho House so people show up.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Dude, it is tough, bro, because like, yo, the acts are legit. I'm like, fuck, man. So Selection,
Yeah.
I love Selection. I'm like, bro, any excuse. And I'm like, bro, I'll wake up early and be there at 12. And I'm like, but I was thinking, like, yo, like, Saturdays, like, I was looking at the lineup. Saturday's not that crazy with like, yo, like bangers nonstop. So I'm like, all right, cool. We can go do that, pop out, go do that, and like go back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna go back and forth, 6 miles every 35 minutes. Like, that's gonna fucking make it like more of a job than a fucking, vacation/festival.
Right. I mean, for me personally, I preferred the lineup the year we went. So this time around, if I was going, I wouldn't be opposed to going to Soho one night, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I'll see how it plays out because they only showed the lineup for this coming weekend. So there's no guarantee it's going to be the same lineup next weekend. So We'll see. So I'll keep everybody updated when I decide next week's episode. But yeah, that shit, like, I'm like, bro, don't tempt me, bro. Like, I don't have the willpower to say no to this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, that shit would drive me crazy too.
Yeah, dude, especially like, if you're like a massive Diplo fan and he just dropped that fire album, he's performing at Soho House and not Coachella.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just like, bro, I just spent fucking $800 for myself at Coachella and now I got to also buy a ticket to go see you. Yeah. And I'm like, come on, man. Like,
I mean, are you able to?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, are you able to look up the vibe on like YouTube to see what it's like?
Well, this is the first time they're doing it, so that is the only thing I'm gonna keep this weekend. Is what's the vibe at this? Like, how does it look?
Yeah, I would wait for that then.
Yeah, I'll wait for that too. But yeah, just the idea of like unlimited food and drinks. But I don't know, like the idea of like leaving, coming back, leaving, like that shit just seems like a no. Because like you remember how it is, but like the entry is so far away from where the actual stages are at Coachella. Like, that's going to be a mission every single time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, just a quick side note. All right, what else we got going on? All right, we'll get into music in a second. So I guess the other final big topic, though, that I saw a couple places. I always wanted to get your input on this. So DOJA CAT is her fans and her firing back at everyone who questions her being a rapper, because she considers herself a rapper first. So, like, what do you consider her, bro?
A rapper first?
Yeah, like, well, I think not first, a rapper. Like, she's a rapper.
So I don't consider, in my book, I'd say she is a rapper, but that's like one of many things she does. If I had to like categorize her in one bucket, I would probably say like artist, singer.
Okay.
Mainly because when I listen to her music, it's like Post Malone-esque. It's not like, yes, you're not necessarily singing every bar. Yes, you kind of like rap here and there, but I don't think I could really box her in as like an MC of sorts, which is what I think of when I hear a rapper, like someone who's spinning bars and kind of strays away from the melodic thing. Like even Travis Scott, sometimes I'm like, is he like a rapper's rapper or is he just like an artist?
Yeah. So for her though, what makes you go artist, singer first though? Is it because she's like female? Is it because like she has so many pop hits that are more her sing? Like, what is it specifically?
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are going to go to that angle of like, oh, it's just because she's a female. I think it's more so, I feel like her music's just very clearly pop. And a lot of pop artists kind of do what she does. And it's still primarily has like a vocal melodic element to it that mostly singers do. So, and I think that's why it's hard for me to say with confidence, like she just is a rapper first. Maybe that's how she started. I don't know her old catalog or what she wants to be identified as, but just on the surface, I feel like since she's pop and isn't constantly spitting bars, it's hard for me to say that's how I would box her in from the get-go. Yeah,
dude, I agree with that. So like, I think I even sent you like a message offline that was like, oh, because she got nominated for like best rap album at the BET Awards. I'm like, is she a rapper now? Oh no, sorry, Complex not like put her top rap albums of the year. I'm like, since when is Doja Cat a rapper? You know what I mean? Like, I don't fucking remember that happening. So I think it's everything you said, bro. Yeah, she's more Post Malone for me than fucking like, I don't know, Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. Like, I know she raps, like clearly, like there's song where she's spitting, but it's also like you said, like it's very sing-songy the way she raps. Yeah, and I know that she already has like this massive team behind her. And I know she's not writing all her song lyrics, right? Because like the nominations showed that there were like fucking 1,000 writers. So like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's also like I know for like I don't believe that you're actually like writing these rap lyrics. Yeah. So well, that's like the thing also comes into play. Like, you're not a rapper because like this isn't you, bro. Like, yeah, I'm not judging you to the same standard I'm judging like Drake or whoever. Like, I don't know, like that stuff matters.
Well, not only that, and I'm glad you brought that up with the writers. I think that kind of ties in what I was just thinking now is when it comes to rap, I also feel like at least for a good chunk of your songs, like the content has to pertain to like you and your experiences and things like that. And at least on the top of my head, like most of the songs I know are very like anonymous and like could have been written by anyone. It's not... Right. Because they doesn't pertain to her life. Because they are. And even if she did write them herself, it's like, these are pop records to me. They're not, they don't give me any idea what Doja's specific life is like at all. Right. So I think it's hard to be like, this is a rapper then, because like anyone can, well, not anyone, but it's a different ball game when you're making like, kind of like vague content that anyone can tie themselves to, whereas like you listen to a Kendrick or even like a Rich the Kid, it doesn't have to be like a lyrical dude, super lyrical dude, like their bars pertain to like them. Yeah. And I feel like that's a differentiating thing for me, at least if I'm gonna have to categorize people into buckets. Same with even Post Malone, like his shit a lot of times pertains to him. So I think he could even consider himself a rapper as well, but it's still mostly pop in my opinion.
Yeah, and again, it's like rappers sing-songy. Like it's like, I don't know, bro. There was moments like when the Backstreet Boys will like break out into like rap. Like no one's calling fucking Nick Carter a fucking rapper. You know what I mean? Like that's not happening. So I don't know, bro. It's weird how like they get so offended. And then you have the other extreme, like certain rappers like, well, don't call me a rapper. I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, it's hard to like really figure out like what do you want to be called, but I don't know, bro. Like I never thought of Doja Cat as a rapper, like ever, like Same. ever, bro. Like, but I remember being on this podcast before the whole scandal she had that I thought was supposed to get canceled, and like, yo, she has songs that slap, 100%. But I've never been like, yo, that's a rap song. That's a fucking pop song. And for like 10, 20 seconds, she busts out some like rap lyrics and goes back to singing for the majority of the fucking song.
Yeah. And to be clear, I love Doja Cat's music. But I feel like she and Nicki Minaj literally are... Nicki Minaj to me is like 80% rap, 20% singing, songy stuff. And Doja Cat to me is like the opposite. Yeah. Like I see Nicki as a rapper who's spitting bars about herself or whatever. And then Doja Cat is making hit records that everyone can enjoy, but isn't necessarily like trying to tap into like her authentic truth as a person, like talking about her being biracial or like random shit like that.
Yeah, dude, there's 100%, bro. Like even to the comment I made last week about the Joyner song, it's like, yeah, at some point you're like, what are you talking about? Like, but that's how you feel about any generic pop song, right? Like when Doja Cat drops, like you're not waiting to be blown away by lyrics. It's like, all right, like the beat's gonna be good enough to be on the radio. The visuals are gonna be great because she's sexy. And that's the end of the conversation. Like you're not like tapped in like, bro, like, did you hear that bar she wrote? Like no one has ever said that about any Doja Cat song. Like it's never been said.
Yeah. And I felt that way about Nicki Minaj lyrics. So for anyone listening, this isn't felt that about Nicki Minaj lyrics in the sense of I've been blown away by some of her punchlines. So this isn't like a, women can't be rappers thing. I think it's just very clear
this specific woman just is not a rapper. Like that's just like, Nicki rap, Cardi
or rapper first.
Rapper first. Yeah. That's the distinction here. Like I've never thought of Doja Cat as a rapper first. R&B. I didn't think she's R&B, bro. Like, I really think she's just like a fucking pop artist. Like that's whatever that genre is, right? Like I just think she's a pop artist. I didn't even like I listened to SZA or whoever, Summer Walker. Like even that is not what Doja's doing. You know what I mean? I feel like Doja's always, if anything, she's more Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera than she is Beyonce.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could, if there is like a whole subcategory, you could call her a pop rapper. Maybe, but I think most people, like if we're going to have, just a few categories, personally, I feel like she belongs more in like a singer category or pop than a rap.
Yeah, and to defend the podcast, like this is just us like looking, because it was just news and I wanted to talk about it. But like I think we've been, especially with the people we've interviewed, we're all for removing genres, period. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm all for you're an artist and make whatever fucking music you want.
Right.
But if you're gonna try to put someone in a box, fam, that's not the box to put her in. Like, no way.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of the guys that we interviewed, and just interestingly enough, are very difficult to box in. So we always ask them what they consider themselves, and even half the time they can't box themselves in because they don't want to, and they just simply can't, but they still gravitate towards what makes sense, I feel like, most of the time.
Yeah, totally agree. So I'm wondering to see what the comments go crazy below. I think this is going to be the one that we get the most pushback on, because I feel like her fans are getting close, like whatever the beehives are for Beyonce. But again, dude, I think you're listening to two big Doja Cat fans, fans of her music for sure. But yeah, if you're gonna try to defend her as a rapper, I can't do that, and I cannot allow that on this podcast. So, what else? Any other topic you want to bring up before we get into the music from last week?
No, let's dive into it.
All right, bro. So I guess Heat of the Week, kind of. We'll get into that in a second specifically, but we had some really dope releases last week. We had the Bia featuring J. Cole London track. We had the uber fucking hyped up Jack Harlow First Class. We had Fabio Foreign's album Bible. But to me, the release of the quarter, and we're only a couple weeks in, was Vince Staples' project. I don't even know what the exact name of the project was.
Ramona Park Broke My Heart.
Ramona Park Broke My Heart. Bro, spitting bars in the fucking title. That's a rapper. So, dude, so you can start off. Like, what project did you just love? What project disappointed you? Take it.
Yeah. So you were the first person that told me to check out Vince's new album, and I set a reminder on my phone. And then, like the day after, another friend of mine is like, "That new Vince Staples, though." And I was like, "All right, I just need to stop what I'm doing and listen to it now." And pretty much every track like blew me away. I can't lie, I don't know a ton of Vince Staples' previous catalog, but I definitely have always been a fan of him, generally speaking. Especially his.
And you mentioned that 2 weeks ago when we spoke about him.
Especially of his off-camera persona. Like, he's hilarious in interviews and everything. He just says the funniest shit ever. And he always seemed kind of antisocial in terms of the industry, because he knows it's full of bullshit. And I think he just considers himself a really authentic person, who, even though he is a Crip, doesn't seem like he likes to promote that aspect, like, "Oh yeah, I'm a Crip, like what are you gonna do," kind of thing. He talks about the darker side of it in a very like poetic but banger type of way. And I don't know, I think the production stuck out to me on this. Like, it was very vibey.
It was a bop, bro.
Yeah, it was a bop. Very vibey in so many different ways. Some like had a more aggressive tone to it. Some had just a more fun tone. Some had a more like introspective, like slide, When Sparks Fly, like all kinds of different tracks that I absolutely loved. So I definitely found a lot of replay value from that.
And what's wild, when I saw him live, and then also I'm excited now that like he's performing Saturday at Coachella.
Oh, wow.
So,
oh, shit.
So, like, if I have to choose between Soho House and Vince Staples, like,
yeah,
that kind of decides it for itself. But
sorry to cut you off, but did he play this?
No, that's my point. He didn't play any of these fucking songs.
Okay.
So, like, there was no indication that there was even a new album coming out. So that's why I was like, yo, the irony that I'm out here bumping this shit as loud as I can at the fucking gym. Like, bro, like, very well done. Like, fam, like, this album was great to me. Like, I would give it like an 8.5 or 9 out of 10. Like, this shit was fire.
Yes.
So, wow, bro. And yeah, I don't think there's any more like Tyler Creator shows coming up. Because imagine, like, if you go to that show and you like hear all these songs, then hear Tyler, bro, you really don't need to go to more concerts for the year. Like, that is going to be the greatest show you ever see in 3 hours. So, bro, well done. Like, similar to, like, I've heard other Vince Staples projects, but like not enough that I'm like not skipping songs. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is cool, but like whatever. You know what I mean? This one I was like, yo, I ran like 4 or 5 songs back, bro. So shout out to him, bro. Stories are being told. The one about starting the album off with like Free the Homies. The different little interludes, bro. Like the one about the female who's explaining about like the struggle of being like in the ghetto and like everything set up against you. Yeah. And like the guy asked her, well, have you ever shot anyone? And she's like, I don't know. Bullets don't have names. I'm like, bro, this is a movie. Like, this is a fucking movie. Like,
when I sent Miguel, my boy, the album, he texted me like shortly after and mentioned that same line, the bullets don't have names or whatever, which is like one of it's like Nipsey's mixtape series too. Like, he named all his after that. It was like a movie.
It was like a movie though. All those interludes were phenomenal, bro. And like, yeah, the story he told from track to track was great, bro. So yeah, dude, shout out to him. I mean, that has to go up there with, dude, probably one of the best releases of the year. Like, like as far as like hip hop, if you start doing like Grammy, whatever, like, fam, like it's as of right now, like, I don't know like many albums that are better than that thus far.
No, I agree. It actually, speaking of the interludes, it gave me a Good Kid, Mad City type feel. Yeah. Where I felt like he really took his time with this. It wasn't just a collection of dope songs. It told a story and he just executed it perfectly, in my opinion.
Which is why I'm excited for him, and to see, but to your point, like I think he does like thinking back to our episode that we spoke about it, I think he does like actually hate the spotlight, but just knows like, hey, I have to do this to a certain extent to like feed my family and take care of myself. But like, I don't really, so I'm okay being the first act at a Tyler concert because like that's still a bag I'm collecting, but like I don't have to deal with the rest of this shit. Yeah. But my overall point is that we need to like really hold on to rappers like this, because to your point, more and more rappers are just trying to put a collection of songs together and not actually a cohesive album, right? I think it's like the interview we had with Sounds Like West, like, bro, like he was saying like, I have no reason to drop an album right now because I just want to drop a song at a time. That's it. Yeah. And I feel like most people are doing that, and if they do drop an album, it's like 10 songs that have no cohesion. It's just, hey, these are 10 songs from the last 10 months. Enjoy. And it's like, yeah, they're good, but like, you're not telling me a story. Yeah. Like, I can put this shit on shuffle. I feel like that's like the biggest clue of an album's good. Like, if you could put it on shuffle and like actually enjoy, it's like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit should be from song 1 to song whatever, and like no skips. So I don't know. So yeah, shout out to him for like being like a old head in a certain extent. Like, we're getting like an actual body of work as opposed to like, yo, here's 13 tracks.
Yeah, it was amazing, and I hope he gets the respect he deserves. I feel like he's kind of like what Tyler maybe was 8 years ago or whatever the case is, where he had like that core fan base that clearly loved him and would sell out a show, but like the general public wasn't like, oh yeah, I know him and like a couple of his songs. Whereas now everyone knows Tyler, but most people still don't know Vince Staples or anything.
Yeah, but Tyler has enough things that lets people from the outside of hip hop like him, right? Like he had plenty of songs where he's just singing, right? Yeah. So now if you're just singing, you're no longer just a rapper. That opens you up to everyone. And now when we see you with Bieber, it's like, all right, you know what I mean? So that's why I think Tyler was able to like get so massive, because like he really appeals to so many different audiences. Yeah. Whereas like to your point before, like Vince is a rapper's rapper, bro. Like more Kendrick than Drake. You know what I mean? Like he really is like, yo, if you're a diehard hip hop fan, like this is for you.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So what other projects slapped for you this weekend? Because I got a project for you that for me did nothing. So I wanted to see, I want to be more positive right now. And it could be singles too.
Honestly, like in terms of projects, there wasn't really anything I listened to or could call out, but I did really like that London Bia track that I was
Nice.
mentioning. It I don't know, it was just a bop. Bia, I didn't really know too much about her outside of that song she did with Rust.
That's all I knew about her. Though.
Yeah.
Oh, she also like opened up for whatever concert you went to.
Oh yeah, Don Toliver. Gained some extra respect from her after that as well. But still, to me, it was like she looked like Cardi B, but kind of sounded like Rihanna and rapped pretty good. But I didn't know anything outside of that.
Yeah.
But J. Cole being a feature intrigued me, and I was like, oh shit, this.
Yeah, because you know he's not just gonna hop on anyone's track. Like he actually needs to believe that you actually are a good enough like artist. Period.
Yeah, and maybe he took it on because the song's called London, and he did some like British accents throughout the song. Yeah, that was like fuck it, like I can try something new with this, so why not? But yeah, I thought that song was dope. Obviously, dope enough for me to try to write something to it, which I'll release soon. So that was the only other thing that I was really like consistently bumping.
Nice. So I will say I reached out to a couple of my London friends, and they also like I wanted their cosign. I'm like, bro, you guys fucking with this? Because like, you know what I mean? They're like, yo, we fucking love it. He gave us a shit. So like that was cool, bro. Because sometimes I feel like we're like in our little bubbles, and we're like, oh yeah, the whole world must love this, and like the song they're talking about, like, yo, we don't fuck with that shit at all. But I heard from a few people in London they actually fuck with this hard. Yeah, it was dope, bro. The video, the visuals were dope. Like the way it's shot with those crazy angles and like, you know, quick changes like that was dope visually. So yeah, shout out to them, and hopefully it's you know, the cosign she needs to blow up further. So dude, but what about the Jack Harlow song?
I thought it was dope. I think I was kind of annoyed that I heard the snippet, like I felt like everywhere I went I was hearing it. So when I did finally get to hear it, it was kind of like old to me at that point, because I know the sample and I know that song in the GL, like that shit was replaying through my head like for a week straight before the shit came out. I thought it was dope overall. He always has lines in there that impress me. I'm just like, how did he think of that? I don't know if it's one of the ones that I'll necessarily be replaying from him a ton. Yeah. As much as I do love that Fergie song. Sometimes like the sample tracks, especially if it's sampling a song that like I grew up with or was old enough.
Bro, I was still in India when that song came out, and it was bumping there. So fam, that was a worldwide hit. Right. That's not just some like, you know, B-side album shit. Like that was a worldwide banger. So yeah, like there's pressure when you sample that shit.
And I think that's what makes it hard for me. Like when Saweetie sampled like Blow the Whistle by Too Short, I'm like, Too Short didn't release a song that long ago in my head. So I'm like, I'll just listen to Too Short. Like this isn't some 70s fucking sample. And I think for me, sometimes when that happens, when these artists resample relatively new songs, it's still hard for me to get the original out of my head because I was like a teen at that point. So it wasn't that long ago. So it's definitely not one of my favorites of his, but I still think it's solid. He's gonna get a ton of love from it. Like, what girl doesn't like that fucking song? And his fan base is like 80% women. I feel like, dudes still think he's a dope MC, but like in terms of the comments, it's just all girls like, yo, look, marry me, blah blah blah. So
yeah, I think I forwarded you a TikTok that he did like a part of that snippet, and bro, like every female on my timeline was posting that shit with like the drool emoji, like, oh my god, I cannot wait. I'm like, bro, like it's whatever, dude. These are all. But yeah, I agree with all you that like hearing that out loud, like I think that's probably how I felt. Like I think the original Glamorous was not that far away that like, I don't know, man, when I heard it, I wish I didn't hear the snippets. Like that's where I think snippets, and I think Tyler even said in an interview recently, like snippets are corny as fuck. Cause like you make people then have different expectations. Either we expect your shit to be trash and we heard a snippet, so now we're going into it like, yo, this is gonna be awful. Or we think it's gonna be hot and it's not, and we're like, yo, like you fell off. So yeah, I really think that snippet shit may need to stop. But yeah, it was fine, bro. Like I would never call Jack Harlow's song trash. But yeah, it didn't do anything for me. I mean, that's cool. You sampled this and it was fun. But like if this is your, again, which is crazy because it's probably going to do crazy numbers. It's probably going to be charting on Billboard, if that even matters. But to be almost like your lead single, it's just like, Like for me, it was almost like a throwaway track. It's like a track you just have on your album that's fun, but it's not like something I'm actually trying to like promote like crazy.
Exactly. And I feel like, because a lot of people I think are trying to pit him as the next Drake. And to me, this one, I feel like skewed more pop. And
this song is more Post Malone than Drake.
Yeah. And I just don't know if that's going to put him in the position to be considered one of the rap goats for this second album. Because his first album, I think, was pretty good and was pretty well received, but it wasn't, nobody was like, this is a classic. Like, oh my God, he's the new king. So from my perspective,
I think that what that album did for him, no matter cut you off, I think what that album did for him was like, we know you can rap. Like that just let him like come to the conversation. And then this next album is gonna be like, all right, well, who are you now that we accepted you? Like, what are you gonna bring to the table to take you to a different level? Right.
Well, it's like, we know you can rap with the first album. And then we know he can be a superstar because everyone loves him. He's funny, girls like him, whatever. So for me, I'm like, this second album better be You're a Good Kid, Mad City, and like just prove not only can you rap, but you can make at least a few top charting songs that like everybody's fucking with and playing in the club. And the first two songs that he released, this and the Nail Tech, by no means trash songs, by no means bad. I think they're,
but just whatever,
they could be considered above average or whatever. But they didn't stick for me personally.
No, yeah, at all, dude. And like, to be fair, like, we're holding him to his own standard, bro. Because like, what's popping in an age where we were so ready with ADHD from like TikTok? That song was here for fucking a year and a half.
Oh, and I was here. That song I didn't get sick of. That's how I know that shit was a hit, because I could listen to that song all day, every fucking day.
Right. So again, dude, I'm sure Eminem felt this. Drake feels it every year. Like, bro, you're a victim of your own success, bro. But yeah, like, but Nail Tech and this one, like, they're not bad. But it's like, it's what gets me worried is like, if you're thinking these are lead singles.
Oh yeah, that's what concerns me too.
Like, bro, like, you think this is it, fam?
Yeah, no. Right. Unless it's some smart tactic where he's doing the throwaways, quote unquote, right now, and then he's got like 4 bangers with Drake and like Kendrick or something.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a Drake feature. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's gonna be called Wherever They Were Hanging Out. Yeah. That's gonna be the title of the song, like fucking Turks and Caicos or some shit.
Yeah. That's funny, bro. Because people have tried to use that tactic, but that shit never works. Like, let me give you the whatever records now, then come with the haymaker. It's like, yo, you're really thinking you're gonna keep my attention, fam? Like, no, like,
right. Especially for sales.
Yeah. Because I think 50 Cent tried to justify that when he dropped the album that was competing with Kanye. And he's like, well, I was just, giving you a couple of songs, and I came out with the Justin Timberlake song. It's like, yo, bro, but we already said Kanye won a month before. So like, bro, we were done. Right. So, but yeah, no, again, but Jack Harlow's in a very, lucrative position right now. Like, he's not losing people's attention, but I think he's going to realize these songs did not do what he intended them to do.
Right. And like you said, to be clear, like, he's winning. I think he'll continue to win. Bro. I think what we're referring to more so is like that respect that Joyner and all these other guys are hoping to win. Like, if they want to be in that top 5 conversation, then personally, I don't think these songs are going to cut it to be in that conversation, regardless of how many millions or whatever he makes.
Yeah, totally agree, dude. Totally agree. All right, so before we get out of here, we're going to get to Heat of the Week in a second. Dude, flop project for me. And I hate using this word, bro, because I love Fivio. But fam, Fivio Foreign's album, Bible, bro, I literally could not get through it. Like, could not get through it, bro.
Oh,
like, I tried my hardest, and I'm seeing comments, and people are saying that he did right for New York. Bro, I didn't hear it, bro. And what annoys me about this project is that, again, and I'm all for artists growing, and like, the Nas we had in 2005 is not the Nas we have in 2022, and I'm all for that, bro. But it really feels like Fivio was in this, doing his thing, drill rap, putting that shit on the map for New York and America. And then whatever Kanye did to him in that fucking closet in Atlanta for the Donda thing, like, this just feels like a poor man's version to remake a more hip hop version of Donda. Like, this is like, it's like too much. It's like, fam, like we get it. Like you have, you know, you guys, you formed a bond, but like, yo, the whole album just sounds like some shit that like, yo, you don't really rap over beats like this. And I don't know, man, like it just seemed like, I'm not going to say all over the place because it was cohesive. Like it was just that vibe throughout. But I'm like, fam, like, why are you putting out projects like this? Like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. Like I don't want to tell people to not grow, but it just didn't make sense to me. It's like, oh, because you hung out with Kanye for 2 months, now you're this. Like, are you Julia Fox? Like, are you the rap? Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. For me, like, it just like, I don't know. But it feels like he changed his whole personality, his whole flow, his whole vibe. I'm like, why, bro? Because you got a Kanye co-sign? Like, what the fuck does that mean right now?
Yeah. I can't speak to it because I haven't listened to it, but I could see what you're saying just based on some interviews. I think Kanye likened him to like Jay-Z, and then he's hanging out with one of the GOATs, and I don't know if that just influenced him to be like, oh, I have to like purposely be this, like take myself to a new level and just do something completely different out of the box. And like, this is destiny, like kind of just letting it get to his head.
That's what it feels like, bro. It's like, yo, I feel like you, like this is a project you drop. Like this is Kanye dropping 808 and Heartbreaks because he's already proven to be like the guy and he can put out whatever he wants. It's like, yo, you have one EP you put out, and then you think you can just drop this and go completely left, like immediately? Like that just seems like, yo, I feel like that's something you earn with time. Like to kind of like that Jack Harlow point, like you didn't earn our attention for you to put this kind of album out that you think we're just gonna keep listening to. Like, dude, I'm telling you, bro, like I listened to everything just for this fucking pod so I can have a comment. Bro, I was 7 songs in and I'm like, yeah, I cannot do this shit anymore. Like this is just, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because he was one of the guys that I originally was like, oh, this is just another drill rapper. And then over time I was like, oh shit, like he's my favorite drill rapper.
Yeah, dude, he had the spicy feature with Nas, that song with Kanye on Donda, like he had the best verse. So like, yeah, I was like, dope, but like, fam, like do that. Like, yo, like, I don't know. Again, listen to it over the weekend. If you have some time, check it out. Again, to each their own. But for me, because I'm like, yo, I'm like a 5-year-old head. I was like, man, this, like, I don't understand why you felt the need to go completely left on this shit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm curious to check it out now, though.
Yeah, just check it out, bro. I want to get, again, it's I think it's like 15 songs. So maybe that's why I was getting annoyed too. Like, yo, why is it still going? But just so the people know what songs you want to add to the Hear the Week playlist for this week. I'm assuming yours is going to be London.
Probably actually Slide by Vince Staples.
Oh, nice. So we're gonna have 2 Vince Staples on the Hear the Week playlist. All right, fire.
Love that song.
Slide is fire. I was gonna go with Magic, bro, because like but then like when I got to the end of the album and I heard Lemonade, I was like, bro,
Lemonade is the one too.
This is it, bro. Yeah. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be my caption all summer, bro. Like this is like, yo, that shit is a banger. Like, bro, a banger. Like, yeah, like if that's one song to like tell you how good this album is, like that one is really good.
Yep, 100% agree.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. All right, cool. Great episode, my dude. Great seeing you, catching up. Let the people know where they can find us, hear us, and get out of here.
Yes, sir. Check us out at audio-theory.com. We have the merch, all podcast platforms, the Spotify and Apple Music playlists on there. So please check us out. New episode every week, unless we say otherwise. But tune in, share, like, comment, do what you can to help us, upgrade our equipment and just the whole vibe of the content. And don't forget to check out Fear. Remember the code's audio-theory. We'll put that in the description box as well if you're watching on YouTube.
100%. Bye, my G. Love you, man. Have a good rest of your week.
Love you too. Peace.